was, if you have not made your first 100 grand, honestly, if you haven't made your first $1 million wholesaling real estate, right? I think this is going to be a very important video for you. And not because of me just saying, oh, you're wrong, I'm right, I'm better than you. Like that's pretty stupid. That's never the point of why I make what I say. It's, if you're not the point where you want to be at, right? So if there's a point where you feel like you should be at in wholesaling real estate and you're not there, there's usually one fundamental reason why. And it's because you always have a lack of something. And what I found in the wholesaling real estate industry, right? It's usually a lack of just one thing, that piece of the puzzle that really will ignite everything in you. And then boom, you kind of, I describe it like everything kind of clicks. That's the best way to describe it, right? So when I was in high school and we had high school wrestling, right? My first year, I went like 1-30. So I won one match, I lost 30. Second year, I went 15 and like, I think I was like 15-15. Third year, 20 and like 20 and 10. And then last year I went like 30-4, right? It's like, how did I just keep improving? Obviously I got bigger and stronger, but my skills got better. But eventually something just kind of clicked where I started getting really good and my skill set just jacked up and started making a lot of money. And so the same exact thing kind of happens in wholesaling real estate, except the knowledge and that clicking can instantly happen. It doesn't have to take years, right? Most times in wrestling, you have to put 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years in before you actually start getting like crazy results unless like you're a crazy athlete. I think Ray Lewis wrestled for like 2 years and he almost won states and stuff. Crazy stuff. But something is fundamentally broken if you're just struggling right now. And what I'm trying to do is get to the root of the problems, why it's fundamentally broken. So what I found is for most people, it's going to be a lack of volume with a lack of knowledge. So usually I get somebody who puts in the work, they put in the volume, but they're absolutely doing the worst possible things, right? And not to, talk on anything or talk bad about anyone, but it's like, I see a lot of wholesalers that try to pull low equity lists and they try to wholesale subject to properties or low equity deals where it's like, you're pushing the volume, you're getting the right connections, but it's not a sustainable game. And I think that's something not a lot of people really understand, right? When I talk to people that are into the creative finance subject to stuff, right? The best ones are always wholesalers first and then do creative second underneath, right? They try to get wholesaling deals. And then after that, if it's creative deal comes up, they'll do creative deal. When you try to go creative first and wholesale second, what you're always going to find is you're always running this little rabbit race, right? And the best, I'm a big statistics guy, right? Because I had my live stream on Thursday. And that was yesterday, actually. Crazy. But, someone's like, well, why can't I wholesale in Southern California or Chico, California, right? And I'm like, well, just look at the statistics. I mean, do you know anybody in Northern California making 100 grand a month? Because I don't know any. Like, I legit don't know anyone in Northern California. If you don't count Sacramento, don't count Fresno, that's like absolutely crushing it in the game. Not really. It's not. Like, not many. Absolutely no one. And so it's like, well, if I don't know anyone and I got over 30,000 people in freeholstein.com or 24,000 people in this Discord, right? And we have hundreds of thousands of followers and I don't know one in that area, probably a reason why. I know plenty of people crushing it in Fresno, plenty in Southern California, but I don't know any in Northern California. So statistics will show that if I know hundreds of thousands of wholesalers and usually the top ones around the country, it's like, why in the world do you think you can be any different? And I'm not even saying that to make fun of anyone or to like, oh, how dare you? But it's like, why do you think you're going to be that crazy different? Same exact thing happens that I see with the creative finance people. Like everyone loves to talk about creative finance, but usually they just bought some program and they're trying to talk it like, can you show me like 5 or 6 people really crushing it? Like most people can't, right? It's always, I did my first deal. It's never people consistently getting deals. It's more of a hoopla game than anything I've seen, but wholesalers, like I find people consistently making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 grand a year. It's because wholesaling is fundamentally house flipping at the end of the day. And so if you are having the wrong knowledge with the right volume, all you have to do is just start doing the right volume and you'll start making a ton more money. It's tiny little stuff. The next avatar of wholesalers that I always see struggle are the wholesalers that have this time and effort issue. And this is probably one of the saddest ones because So like I make videos once a month or every other week, something, at least one out of the 5 channels, right? I just make one video because I always get sick of talking to somebody. And a lot of people like look down on me, not a lot, but some people look down on me for this, but it's like, it's an absolute loser mentality. And I'm not saying you specifically have it, but I'm saying that 1-2% of the people watching this probably do. And this is a fundamental reframing of the hardware and software in your mind. See, you can't become successful wholesaling real estate by having the wrong outlook of the world and how it works. One thing I found 25 years of life, and this took me a very long time to figure out, and I'm not trying to get in the woo-woo life stuff, but every single person looks at you and looks at life completely differently. Like, so for example, your wife is going to look at you very differently how your daughter looks at you. That guy that you cut off and, driving because you're stressed, he's going to look at you and think you're the biggest jerk in the world. Your daughter's going to think you're the greatest dad in the world, right? And people fundamentally always look at you in a different way. Same thing, people look at life in different lenses, right? Some people wake up in the morning and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to wake up today and do this. Oh, this just end my suffering. The other people like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got to live today. My doctor said, I was only going to live 2 more months and we're on month 7. Wow, what a blessing. The thing is, everyone looks at life very differently. And the 1-2% of people watching this that live in it's probably 10%, I would say, of newbies, right? Not people that are actually making money, but 10% of wholesalers that I've encountered have this look at life of, ooh, boo-hoo, why me? The world is terrible. The world is suffering. The world is collapsing. It's insane to me. Like, I don't know how to say this in the craziest way, but like, there are legit people that talk to me, right? Because I'm like 25, so people are getting married, having kids, right? And I just have conversations with people. I say, hey, you're married, congratulations. Like, you're looking at having any kids? And I get people who legit say this to my face. They're like, why would I bring kids in this messed up, terrible world? This is the worst time ever to be alive. Why would I bring my children into this world knowing that they're going to burn to a crisp from climate change in the next, 20, 30 years? Now, I'm not going to get into all politics of climate change, yes or no. Obviously, I'm not going to dispute the fact that, yes, sea levels are rising and the temperatures are getting hotter. I know this. Okay, climate change is fundamentally, if you look scientifically, temperatures rising. I'm not fighting that. What I'm fighting is that the world is so terrible. I have the fundamental mindset that this is the greatest time ever to be alive. This is by far, out of any time in the entire world to be a human being, this is it. Oh, if the Garden of Eden is real, that would probably a little better because everything was given for you. But outside of that, being the first person, I would tell you by far, this is the greatest era ever to be alive. And so to fundamentally look at life like the world's ending, it's insanity to me. And I make fun of both, types of people, right? We have people that are left wing, right wing, that are getting holes. I don't really care. The thing, I do care when you start trying to mess with my wholesaling laws, but that's for a different day. Both sides of the aisle do that. But there were people legitimately 2 years ago that thought that Joe Biden was just you get the quote, destroying the country. Now, half of you are going to say, oh, he was. Okay. Now, there's another half of the people right now that believe right now to this day, Trump is destroying the country. Do I fundamentally believe that both of those presidents were setting out on this highway to death to destroy the United States? I don't believe that. Okay. A lot of people believe Obama was the devil and he was just trying to destroy the country. I don't believe that. Okay. People thought that in Bush too, right? Like, I just don't prescribe to that frame of thinking. And a lot of people go in life thinking about that, right? That the whole world is in that. And so if you're coming into life and you're looking and going into life, and we see the chat going crazy, right? But the thing is, if you look at life of like, oh no, boo-hoo, the world sucks, everything is against me, and you make excuses about life of like, oh, life has just always, it's against me, oh Lord, right? The thing about this is, you should always have the frame of mind that you are lucky and blessed to be alive. Regardless of what you believe, it is a true gift to be alive right now, and you should make the most out of it. You should also believe that it doesn't matter what anybody thinks about you, because if you do, you will be crippled by somebody's opinions that don't matter at the end of the day, because they look at you in a bad way, but your mom looks at you in a better way. So whose opinion? Because if Johnny Boy 96 on the internet goes and tells me that I'm a piece of poop and I'm the worst person, I'm a terrible person in wholesaling, I'm literally the worst guy in the world, and then my mom tells me I'm awesome and I'm doing great, and if I get upset over Johnny Boy 64, that means I value his opinion over my mom's opinion, which is, I think, is kind of insane, because my mom's known me my whole life. And so I don't really care about what people's opinions are of me outside of my loved ones. And so right. And so I go in this mindset, I'm lucky to be alive. The people that know me best think I'm doing great. What is there to complain about? But the thing is, I have to shake some of you guys out here, because I would say probably half, maybe a quarter, maybe half, right, of people watching this have very bad beliefs in their mindset of how their parents brought them up, and you just get by. If you can go into the world and truly believe that you can make a change, you make a change, right? So we kind of got the bad stuff out of here, but really what I found is a lack of knowledge is the first thing of why people absolutely do not become successful in wholesaling. And that lack of knowledge is the easiest one, because you just go to freewholesaling.com. Right? I have a free wholesaling course. It's called freewholesaling.com. You're in the Discord. Go talk to somebody, right? Annabelle says, what's going on? What do I do? Annabelle, I'm trying to teach people how to wholesale houses. So Annabelle, if you've done a deal, please let me know. But here's the best one. Go talk to John, Luca, whatever, anyone in here that's done a deal. Say, how do you get a deal? Network. Boom. Cha-ching. You're good to go. But knowledge is the first part. If you do not know how to wholesale, I have a wholesaling course called freewholesaling.com. Obviously, it's free. We'll teach you. You got the Discord here, ZachDiscord.com, right? Everyone knows about this. Go into the chat, say, who here has done a deal? How did you get a deal? Oh, I learned from Zach. Well, how did I learn from Zach? Boom, we help you out. Boom. Done. Dap it up. Get some deals. Next year, I see people have a lack of volume. It's probably one of the worst, probably the hardest ones to change, because that's just a fundamental mindset thing. A lot of people get used to not working, and then people get used to working. So what I found is, if you work 14-hour days, you get tired of it, but you kind of get used to it, standing on your feet for 14 hours. It's like the first time you ever worked at a restaurant. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could stand up 8 hours a day. But then your body gets used to it. Your body's really good at adapting. And then when you don't do it, your body gets really used to not standing up 8 hours a day, right? Same thing working out. Your lack of volume is probably most likely a mindset thing. So if you think 5 hours of cold calling is the absolute worst torture in the world, go get waterboarded. That's not even a joke. If you think cold calling is torture, why don't you actually get tortured? Somebody chop your fingers off, and we'll see which one's more torture. The thing is, most human beings are only used to their worst, the worst possible experiences they've ever lived through. And so if cold calling is the hardest thing you've ever done in life, it is the hardest thing you've ever done in life. And that will cripple you unless your body gets used to it, which cold calling 5 hours a day is not fun, but you get used to it pretty dang quick. Thing with running. If you run every single day, you will make a ton of money. If you run every single day, you will get really good at running. And if you treat cold calling like that, you'll make a ton of money too. Now, the third part is lack of skill. So a lot of people have the knowledge, they know what to do. They put the volume in, but their skill sets suck. So it is a people skills, it is a phone conversation skills, it's a closing skill set, and you have no confidence. That's probably one of the worst things I see from people, is they don't have any confidence. And the thing about confidence, I've always told people the hack about it, but confidence is a belief in the words you say and the actions you do. So if you do not believe in the words you say, so if you tell a seller, hey, me and my partner are looking to buy all properties in the area for cash, you don't actually believe yourself, you're not going to sound like that. You're going to say, hey, my partner and I are looking to buy some houses in the area for cash. You don't believe what you're saying. You don't believe you actually have a partner. Maybe you actually don't. We'll go grab a cash partner. We got plenty of JV guys here and gals. And just have that confidence. The best way to build confidence is have reps and skill sets there. But still, people to this day still want to complain to me that, I don't know, I didn't build confidence. It's like the line from Wizard of Oz. The confidence has been within you all the time. You got to believe. And if you ever look at the definition of belief, it is a reinforcement of your experiences and observations about the world, about how you can actually do something. It's the truth. Next year's lack of time. This one's probably the biggest killer of all dreams because everything else is pretty easy to change. The one thing I cannot change about yourself, I might give you the right mindset, the right everything, but it is time. Time is going to be the worst possible killer. And the best way I can tell you how to solve a time issue is, first and foremost, do you even have a time issue? If you look at your screen time on your phone and it is under 2-3 hours a day, I'm assuming you're probably using that during work, then you're fine. If you're over 3 hours a day of screen time, I know for an absolute fact you do not have a time problem. You have a phone problem. Get off the phone an extra 2 hours, use those 2 hours for, guys, if you just put 2 hours a day, that's all you really need to start getting some momentum in this business. But if you're the type of guy that works 15, 16-hour days, 7 days a week, you're going to have to find an hour or two. And you're probably not using the right marketing channels. And so what I'd say is email blasting, digital bandit signs. I would just do those two because it's only 50, 30, 45 minutes a day at most. That's how you start getting wholesaling deals.